Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the In-Depth series. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Today we are going to discuss why do governors who are supposed to be apolitical in nature, as they should be, become a point of contention, a bone of contention between the center and the state government. Sometimes it happens that both the state government and the governor do not see eye to eye on a specific issue, and then they start airing their grievances out in the open, which is not very healthy for the political democratic health. So that is why we are going to discuss the governor, the news about the governor, the historical background, constitutional provisions related to the governor, the term and the removal, plus what is the relationship between the governor and the state government, as well as certain issues. So 12 states and the Union Territory of Ladakh, they will have new governors. We are going to talk about both the appointment of new governors as well as transfer of governors. So President Draupadi Murmu has appointed Lieutenant General 𝐾𝐻 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐥𝐢𝐬 as Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, Lakshman Prasad Acharya as Governor of Sikkim, C.P. Radhakrishnan as Governor of Jharkhand, Shiv Prasad Shukla as Governor of Himachal Pradesh, Gulab Chand Kataria as Governor of Assam, Justice S. Abdul Nazir, retired Justice S. Abdul Nazir as Governor of Andhra Pradesh, and the following governors, they will have new responsibilities. Biswa Bhushan Harichandan, Governor of Andhra Pradesh, he has been appointed Governor of Chhattisgarh. Anusuya Uike, Governor of Chhattisgarh, has been appointed as the Governor of Manipur. L.A. Ganeshan, Governor of Manipur, has been appointed as Governor of Nagaland. Okay, so Phagu Chauhan, Governor of Bihar, he has been appointed as the Governor of Meghalaya. Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar, Governor of HP, appointed as Governor of Bihar. Ramesh Bais, Jharkhand, has been appointed as Governor of Maharashtra. That means they have been changed. Brigadier B.D. Mishra, Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, has been appointed as Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh, because Union territories do not have governor but lieutenant administrators, lieutenant governors. Okay, so when we talk about the articles which are related to governor under Constitution, Article 153 to Article 162 talks about the appointment powers and everything related to the office of governor. Governor basically has a dual role. First, to be the constitutional head of the state, who is bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers of the state and functions as a vital link between the union government and the state government. So it's kind of majorly of the times he or she is seen as the agent of the central government. Okay. So the governors under the Government of India Act 1935 were by the Raj, of the Raj and for the Raj. And what happens that the Constituent Assembly wanted elected governors as proposed by a subcommittee which consisted of B.G. Kher, K.N. Karju and P. Subramanian. But what happened that there was an issue about if the governor as well as the Council of Ministers, basically the CM, both will be elected, there will be a clash between them because they both will have the powers given by the people if they both were elected, and that could have created a clash. So then what happens that they become, now it's a provision that they will be appointed by the president. Okay. Now part 6 talks about governor. Article 153 says that there shall be a governor for each state and one person can be appointed as governor for 2 or more states. This happened when? In 1956, when state reorganization happened, and dual capacity is the role. First of all, as a vital link between the center and the states, and the constitutional head who is going to do anything by the advice of the Council of Ministers. He is a part of the federal, he or she is a part of the federal system of Indian polity, acts as a bridge between the union and the state governments as discussed. Article 157 as well as Article 158 of the Constitution of India specifies eligibility requirements. So it is important to know these two things. They are as follows. First of all, they should be citizen of India, at least 35 years of age, not a member of either House of the Parliament or House of the State Legislature, and not hold any office of profit. Alright. Moving on, according to Article 155, Governor of a state shall be appointed by the President by warrant under his hand and seal. And 156 says the Governor shall hold office during the pleasure of the President. There is no term that has been fixed by the Constitution. Generally, it is of 5 years. But before that also the Governor can be asked to step down. First, in such cases, dismissal by the President on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Dismissal of governors without a valid reason is not permitted, remember that. Then it is the duty of the President to dismiss a governor whose acts are upheld by courts as unconstitutional and nullified. So it depends on the court as well. And also when the governor himself or herself resigns. Now, what is the relation between the state government, union government, and the governor? We have to keep that in mind. What happens that generally governors are supposed to be apolitical head because they are bound by the advice of the Council of State Ministers, and they must act on the advice of the Council of Ministers of the state who enjoy the powers and privileges given to them by the Constitution, and it is headed by the CM. Okay. Now there are certain issues on which we can say the governor's role is very significant because he or she acts independently here. First, giving or withholding assent to a bill which is passed by the state legislature. Second, determining the time needed for a party to prove majority in the state assembly. And third, or in case such as a hung verdict, where no party has a majority to formulate a government, and which party must be called first to prove their majority. Here also, the governor's discretion is very significant. So that is why we are talking about governors as a significant apolitical head. Now, the issues are that whenever there are instances when the governor as well as the state minister, legislative assembly, we can say Council of Ministers, do not see eye to eye on any issue, the Constitution does not provide any sort of mechanism to air the grievances that happens in the public eye generally. For example, between Jagdeep Dhankar and Mamata Banerjee back then, R.N. Ravi, Arif Muhammad Khan, they have been accused of partisan conduct. That means they are partial towards their party, okay, by the chief ministers of West Bengal, Tamil Nadu and Kerala respectively. Moving on, they have been seldom times called as an agent of the center, puppet and rubber stamps, which is not correct, because I told you how to counter this rubber stamp and puppet, because at their discretion only, bills could be reserved at the occurrence of hung assembly and many other things. So we talked about that as well. So the arbitrary removal of the governor before the expiration of his tenure has also been an important issue in the recent past. So one thing that we have to keep in mind over here is the governor must be impartial. The governor does not need to stay in one state only so that partisan collusion could occur. So right now the Constitution provides enough safeguard, but we need to ensure that more safeguards are provided to the state governments as well as the governor, and they try to become a political, an apolitical head as well as a vital link between the state and the union government, and not a bone of contention. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching.